Welcome, our new lab mums. My colleague told me that human-animal interaction, or petting animals, can promote the release of prolactin and oxytocin. These hormones help elevate human emotions. I've decided to bring some pets to our lab. Yuri, may I ask if you're a cat person or a dog person?
I don't like cats. They always seem indifferent to people and appear very selfish.
Speaking of indifferent cats today, let's talk about two psychological effects related to cats. The first is called the abandoned cat effect. Before meeting you, I had a cat. Strictly speaking, it was my parents' cat since I lived with them at the time. But my parents had to work, so I took care of her most of the time. This cat ruled the house, acting like our boss. She barely paid attention to me. It would throw a tantrum whenever something didn't go her way. One day, she got sick and we sent her to the hospital. After returning home, she started clinging to me, offering its belly for rubs and sleeping next to me. My parents later told me this might be the abandoned cat effect.
But you didn't abandon the cat, right?
Well, be patient. The abandoned cat effect refers to when a cat is abandoned by its original owner and later adopted by someone else. It becomes exceptionally well behaved, fearing abandonment again. I think my cat felt scared and abandoned when it was alone in the vet's cage, leading to this effect. Some psychologists extend this to the abandoned cat effect in love. If you are always extremely accommodating and unconditionally good to your partner, they might take you for granted. Conversely, if you sometimes do less in the relationship, your partner may value these rare moments of attention more, making the relationship more balanced. I've heard a relationship guru talk about this. He gave an example. If you're in a budding relationship with someone and want to advance it quickly, you can use the abandoned cat effect. Gradually reduce the frequency and enthusiasm of your interactions over a period, then disappear for about a week. During this time, don't respond to their messages or calls. After a week, send them a message.
That sounds suspicious, almost like manipulation.
There is some truth to it. He said in relationships, you should love yourself first, then love others. Take care of your emotions first before considering theirs.
It sounds a bit like Adler's concept of separating tasks.
You're quite insightful. Adler believed that all interpersonal conflicts arise from interfering with others' tasks or having our tasks interfered with. To determine whose task it is, see who bears the primary consequences. While I don't fully agree with the abandoned cat effect in relationships, and it does have some pseudo-scientific aspects, there are some valuable insights. In friendships or romantic relationships, you don't need to constantly cater to the other's emotions, or you'll exhaust yourself. If the other person is dissatisfied, both should sit down and communicate. Importantly, true love in relationships doesn't sacrifice one party's interests to satisfy the other. If you find yourself constantly sacrificing for your partner and feeling resentful, it might be time to reconsider the relationship.
It's amazing how cats can lead to such deep philosophy.
In summary, if you want to apply the abandoned cat effect, you first need to understand your partner fully. If your partner has an avoidant personality, using this effect might cause emotional rifts. Then, maintain an appropriate distance. Everyone has their tasks and life. Enrich yourself first so you can better interact with your partner. Constant self-sacrifice for the other's sake is unsustainable. Moreover, both should express their true feelings bravely, not say the opposite. For example, if your partner comes home late, some might angrily say, "Don't come home next time." We've previously discussed Jung's unconscious and the law of attraction. Interested viewers can revisit that. If you say, "Don't come home next time," it might actually happen because you invited it.
So we should say, come home earlier next time.
Exactly. Don't be emotional. A better approach is to calmly ask your partner the reason for being late. Ensure your tone is gentle and sincere, avoiding blame or attack. Of course, the abandoned cat effect is also questioned by some. Your cat doesn't understand why it was abandoned. For instance, my cat didn't know what hospital is. Of course, she didn't realize the doctor was helping her, and we didn't abandon her. Abandoning a cat doesn't teach it a lesson. It only makes it scared and confused, reacting to the new environment. Generally, cats dislike change and get anxious in unfamiliar surroundings, which is natural and not related to abandonment. Over time, they adapt to the new environment and forget the previous owner. For very timid cats, the abandoned cat effect might cause stress, and severe stress reactions can be life-threatening. Let's discuss another cat-related psychological effect. There's a story about a company chairman who got so engrossed in reading the newspaper that he lost track of time. To avoid being late, he sped on the highway, got a ticket, and ended up late anyway. Furious, he returned to the office and scolded the sales manager. The sales manager, frustrated, took it out on the secretary. The secretary, angry from being unjustly criticized, picked on the receptionist. The receptionist, upset, went home and lashed out at his son. The son, confused by his father's anger, kicked the family cat in frustration.
I see. This is a world where everyone ends up feeling hurt.
You're right, but a quick reminder, the police didn't get hurt. The kick the cat effect refers to when a powerful person hurts us and we unconsciously take out our anger on someone weaker. It stems from our fear and cowardice. We can't respond directly to the powerful person, so we release our anger on innocent, weaker individuals. Throughout this process, the harm doesn't disappear, but rather spreads and gets passed on among people. The famous psychological kick the cat effect depicts a typical vicious cycle caused by the spread of negative emotions. In today's internet society, the kick the cat effect is amplified because people are invisibly connected in a pseudo-anonymous state, making it easier for accumulated negative emotions to spread widely. So, we must be careful on social media, not to kick the cat and not to be kicked by others. This is also related to Jung's collective unconscious. When society's overall negative energy rises, everyone is more or less affected.
The opposite is also true, which is why volunteers and churches are willing to help others.
Yes, this can be seen as a social level butterfly effect. I remember reading a story from a novel. If you don't mind, let me share with you here. On a country road, Joey was driving his old car slowly forward. It was dusk, and snowflakes were falling with the cold wind. The flying snowflakes entered the shabby car, and Joey shivered. There were hardly any cars or people on this road. Joey's factory had recently closed, leaving him feeling desolate. Up ahead, Joey saw something by the roadside. As he got closer, he saw a small, elderly woman with a wrinkled face, shivering in the cold wind. When she saw Joey's smiling face, she closed her eyes nervously. Joey understood her feelings and quickly reassured her, saying, "Please don't be afraid, Mom. Why are you standing outside your car? It's warmer inside. By the way, my name is Joey." It turned out her tire was flat. Joey let her sit in her car while he crawled under it to place a jack. His ankle got scraped because he wasn't wearing socks. He took off his worn gloves for better maneuverability, and his hands became numb with cold. He panted, his nose ran, and the heat from his breath kept his face from freezing. His hands bled, but he ignored it. When he finished, his hands were dirty with oil, and his clothes were even dirtier. As Joey closed the trunk, the elderly woman rolled down the window, gratefully telling him she had been waiting for over an hour, cold and scared, almost losing hope. She opened her wallet and asked, "How much do I owe you?" Joey was stunned. He hadn't expected any payment. He had often received help when in need and believed helping others in need was natural. Joey smiled and said, "If you meet someone who needs help, please help them." After watching her drive away, Joey started his old car. The elderly woman drove a few miles and stopped at a small restaurant for a meal before heading home. The restaurant was shabby and dimly lit. The young owner warmly handed her a white towel to dry her hair. The elderly woman felt comfortable and noticed the young owner, despite her sweet smile, looked extremely tired and was pregnant. Nevertheless, she busily served the elderly woman tea and food. The elderly woman thought of Joey. After finishing her meal, she paid. When the owner returned with the change, she found the elderly woman gone. On the table was a small paper package with some money exceeding the bill. There was also a note. "Someone helped me when I was in need. Now I want to help you." The young owner couldn't hold back her tears. She closed the shop and entered the back room to find her husband asleep. She didn't want to wake him. He was nearly frantic looking for a job. She gently kissed his rough forehead and murmured, "Everything will be all right, dear. Joey."
What a touching story. It's like the opposite of the kick the cat effect.
I have another story. On September 7th, 1965, the World Billiards Championship was held in New York. Louis Fox was far ahead in points, just a few away from winning the championship. At that moment, he noticed a fly on the cue ball. He waved it away. But as he bent to take his shot, the fly returned. Amidst the audience's laughter, he got up again to chase the fly. The annoying fly ruined his mood. Worse, it seemed to be intentionally provoking him, returning to the cue ball every time he approached, causing more laughter. Louis Fox's mood worsened until he lost his temper and tried to hit the fly with his cue, accidentally striking the cue ball. The referee penalized him for the foul, costing him a turn. Distraught, Louis Fox made several mistakes, while his opponent, John Deere, grew stronger and overtook him to win the championship. The next morning, Louis Fox's body was found in the river. He had drowned himself.
I would say this is a tragedy caused by a fly.
You have summarized it pretty good. Negative emotions amplify as they spread. We need proper outlets for our emotions. I recommend exercise, as we discussed the benefits of exercise a few days ago. Interested viewers can revisit that. Also, consider having pets and treating them well, like I plan to do today.
Alright, I've decided. I won't get a cat or a dog. Let's adopt 2 guinea pigs instead.
Hey, you! Don't play games. I know you're watching on the other side of the screen. That's right, freak. It behooves you nothing to ignore me. Join the lab and become Labman 000X today. Today's keyword is